When I see a black man and one man, I think of strength, black empowerment we have within, building community development. Let's continue to build our own. Let's continue to stay strong. Motivation, no matter the hate, no stopping. You just go. Listen up to Quan, John, and Queen P for giving us a voice. Speak up for what's yours and yell and make that noise. We are kings and we are queens. Melanated royalty, just getting started. Loving self, self and knowledge. Stack that wealth. Motivational motors, y'all.
Booyah! Back at you, Motivational Motives, where we speak to inspirational Black people who've overcome adversity en route to prosperity. What's going on, Queen P? How you doing this early morning?
Hey, I'm good. Although it is not early, it is 3:24 p.m.
You've been up, right?
I've been up.
We have an amazing guest today. We have WANDA D. HOLLIS. She's the CEO and founder of Walking Through the Storm. She's the author of I Am Enough. She's the host of numerous talk shows, and she's a delight to be around. How you doing, WANDA? What's going on?
I am. Thank you for having me. I am doing absolutely amazing. You know, happy Sunday to everybody. Great grand rising. Lots of peace and love and light. So I'm just happy to be here. How are you all doing today?
Wow, we're doing well. You know what I mean? We're very fortunate to be alive. My heart is beating. I'm healthy. Kids are healthy. Wife is healthy.
Absolutely.
Everything's well, honestly. So, you know, let's jump right into the when I seen the I Am Enough, when I seen the title, I said, you know what? I know so many people that do not feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
The vast majority of people that I know, I don't know, maybe I need to go to different circles, don't feel like they're enough, and they're competing with this imaginary fictitious figure.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you come up with the title, and what's the book about?
Wow, that's so true. First, let me start there with people not feeling like they are enough. And these are the things that kind of spin us out of control because we be constantly trying to keep up with the Joneses or be solidified in other areas and still with this feeling of lack. But how I got started with the title, let's start there. The title came about in the book, my very first book, I Am Enough. And I wrote this, I kept writing that out over and over and over again. And it ended up being a part of my my visual manifesting journal, which on this page, I had written it out like 33 times. I am enough, I am enough.
Interesting.
The original name of the book was supposed to be A Hole in My Stiletto. But then
I dig the analogy.
Yeah. Right. And then and it was a lot of stuff going on with me. So I was contemplating with that. And I was like, Then I went to my journal and I saw I Am Enough just over the whole page. And I said, that's it. That's the name right there. Wow. So it kind of changed names twice because one, I think at one point it was Entanglement or something like that.
Okay.
But the I Am Enough book was like my breakthrough of diving into what I do now, but just taking it to another level. So when I created that book, and that book is composed of affirmations, there's 107 affirmations in that book. There is lots of poetry, poems, and short stories. So it actually guides you through a journal of life, being, those times where you're upset with life and trying to figure it out in life. So after each section, it breaks down an area for you to reflect on your own self. And that's how that book was put together, and why it was put together, because always at our core, and I find at my core, I'm teaching what I most need to learn.
Right.
And I had to take that mantle of knowing that I am enough. So that's what birthed the book.
Wow. How did you feel after you wrote it? Like all that went into, the creation of it. Once it was done, what was that like?
It was like, it's like giving birth to a baby that you had carried for 25 years. That's what it was
Wow.
like this damn baby, it's time for this damn baby to come on out of here. That's how it was. So,
oh man.
And it splashes on the scene and you're like, I'm here. So,
right.
So yes, never like looking at that first book, because I've written several books since then.
Okay.
But that first one always make you feel like a sense of
True.
accomplishment, a sense
True.
of, I finally, it's
True.
done. It's done.
I can definitely concur with my first book, Motivational Motives. I'm actually on my fourth right now. But that first book is like, I don't know. You know what? That's a great analogy. Like a baby has been birthed that you've been carrying along for 25 years.
Yeah.
It feels like you finally got it off your chest, right?
Absolutely.
And it's like after you get it off your chest, it's like a template that you can refer to all the time. You're like, hey, that's that's right. That's the truth.
Right.
You know what I mean? It becomes your truth.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it becomes your template for the subsequent books.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, even if it's probably, let's not say not as good as the other books you have, it's still special to you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's what I feel like too, but Motivational Motives that can still be purchased on Amazon today and in Audible, in audio form, ladies and gentlemen.
I love it.
So check it out. You now you said you're an author of other books. I see that you're not a motivational speaker, you're an inspirational, transformational speaker. Okay. Where did this gift, because it's a gift, it's a skill that all of us are not blessed with. Where did it come from? At one time, were you not as verbal? Was your verbiage not too vivid? And then it came out one day, or were you always?
I think it was always there. It's funny you say that, because I had said, you know how you always talk to your elders and then you find out things about yourself. So
right.
My one aunt, she told me, you've always been like that, like the person that sees the cup half full instead of half empty. A little bit about my background, being raised in a entrepreneur family, business owners. My grandparents, they had a Shell franchise gas station in Detroit, and I would say that we weren't your typical family just because of that alone.
That's right.
And my grandfather, he only had a 4th grade education, but he was very successful in that business. And being a little girl up in that atmosphere, it always gave me more of an insight. So I was like that little kid walking around saying, like wash the windows or do something like, at 12 years, like do something, clean the oil cans. And I'm really dating myself, because back in the day, we used to stack up our oil cans in a V in a window to display them. You had like your heavy grade oil, your light grade oil, your premium oil, and they will all be stacked up in a pyramid. And believe it or not, those things get dusty. So I've always had this eye for, telling people, don't just show up to work to be great. Make everything around you great.
Excellent.
So
excellent.
My voice has always been there. I feel like maybe at times it may have been a little maybe silent or muted just because of the different things that I was involved in.
Right.
But I come from a line of teachers and speakers and preachers. And so later
so it's in your DNA.
Yeah, it's just in my DNA. And I do, like, I dubbed myself the motivational queen. This was years back.
Interesting.
So yeah, so it's just, they say you don't have to wait for someone to tell you who you are.
Right.
That's right. You know what? Say that one more time, Ms. Hollis, please, for the viewers. One more time.
You don't have to wait for someone to tell you who you are.
Hallelujah. On a Sunday morning.
You don't. And once you realize that, then you start to operate differently. You start to feel different.
So what type of motivational speaking do you do? Like most people have a type. I don't know. Do you have a type, or is it just,
Well, my lane is in entrepreneurship.
Gotcha.
Business. So I'm the pusher of dreams. I'm the accountability coach. So when people come to me, they have to be ready to work because I'm no nonsense. We have to remove all of the excuses.
Right.
Whatever they are. I don't give a two flying flip-flops. I don't care. I don't care what the excuses are. If you say that you want to accomplish something, then you have to get it done. So in the area of speaking, I'm constantly speaking on transformation, leadership, mindset. Those are the areas that I speak on.
How did that come about? Like, how did you become an expert on entrepreneurship and being able to push people to achieve that dream?
Right. So being a part of coming from an entrepreneurial family, I've been in business ever since I can remember. I at one point I remember graduating from high school and I wanted to go work for other people. I don't know why, but that was still it was a great reward in that. However, I realized that was, in hindsight, I should not have done that. I should have been really paying attention to what I had being our business and growing that, but I just didn't have that insight at 17.
Right. Most people don't.
Yeah. Right. I didn't have that insight, but I did realize that in helping people, because I have so much knowledge in business, it's easy. I'm like a strategist. I can figure it out. Go in it's only really a couple core components in all business, and that is customer service and sales and communications. That's it. So you can take that into any business. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter what you're pushing. If you don't have a sense of customer service, because for the money that you spend in advertisement, if you don't fulfill what people's expectations are, then you're constantly spending out money. And then if you don't know how to ask for the sale to close the deal, then you're wasting time.
Right.
Got you.
So, so those are the things that I help people understand that, and we just put the strategies together to get it done.
It kind of mimics my story, so to speak, because I wasn't one of those guys that went straight to college. You understand? I found myself, so to speak, for a number of years. I didn't go back to school till I was like maybe, 25 years old. And then first I was a business administration major. I stopped that. Then I was in a hospitality major. Then I stopped that. Then I was what was I? I think I was a criminal justice major. Then I stopped that. And then I found my true calling as a counselor. That's what I do. I counsel on the college level. However, now after this pandemic, after me being home and kind of being still for a little while, I created this Motivational Motives brand. So I actually went back to the business administration epiphany that I had initially, but I had to go through those majors and gain those skills to become who Quan John is today. You understand? I needed that hospitable, interpersonal skill. I needed kind of that stern criminal justice mindset. You know what I mean? I needed that insight and empathy as a counselor. And when you put that in the pot, you stir it up. And voila, you got motivational motives. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely understand that journey. So I tell my students all the time, first and foremost, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. It's actually about the journey. You know what I mean? And you said something very profound about being no nonsense when it comes to your goal and your objective. And that's so very true. It's like, even if you don't know where you're going, you better be persistent on the path, even if you don't know where you're going. You understand? And I tell them, I ask them, how bad do you want to be successful? And they say, yeah, I want to be successful bad. And I say, really? I said, no. This is how bad you got to want it. Check it out. You got to want it so bad that the thought of you not getting it almost makes you cry.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to say that one more time. You have to want to be successful so bad that the thought of you not becoming a success almost brings a tear to your eye. Because physiologically, what you're going to do to yourself, you're going to go at it so hard to abstain from that feeling of hurt.
Right.
And you're not going to be able to be stopped at all. You know what I mean? So I definitely, I touche on that stern attitude on, hey, do you want this or not? Straight up and down. You know what I mean? We not playing here because, you know, you can stay home if you're playing.
Right.
For real. You know, Portia?
Yeah, no, I love that so much. It makes me think about that show Shark Tank. Y'all ever watch Shark Tank? And when people go up there to do their little pitch or whatever, if the sharks find out that that person didn't quit their job in order to do it, or they're only so far into the business after have claimed to establish it 8 years ago, they just be like, okay, you can go bye. We're not going to invest in you. Why? Because it's like you're not putting your all into it. And Ms. Wanda, like, I feel like that's what you were talking about. It's like you make people realize what they want, and if they're not willing to do anything to get it, bye.
Right.
Absolutely. And so I love that.
It's a level of commitment. Definitely a level of commitment. And I love that show.
Right. Right.
Even though I tell people don't go on there if because your ideas might get snatched up.
Straight up. That's true.
They have deep pockets.
Very true.
And they can fund anything.
Very true.
You know?
Wow, I never thought about it like that. You're right. You have to really like how you would secure your child.
You have
know
to.
What I mean?
You have to.
And be overprotective over it. You know? Yeah. So let me know about these talk shows. What's going on and how did you develop them? What are they about? And how could people get on the talk show? Because I know they're gonna be wondering, how can I get on Wanda D's talk show?
Absolutely. Well, we have several different ways. Okay, so let me just say from the perspective of what I do, I help entrepreneurs, business owners, coaches, authors, artists get more exposure through media. And I help people develop like their own platform as well as how they connect and collaborate to the community. That's what we do.